have. On January 1st, 2013, Sample purchased a machine. The price quoted by the seller was $10,000, less 2% if paid within 15 days of the invoice date. So when you get something like this, it's important for us to be mindful of when the invoice or when the equipment was purchased and when the invoice needed to be paid to get the 2% discount. So in this case, they get it if they paid within 15 days. They paid with cash or transportation for $300, installation for $600, and duty for $200. So give the entry to record the acquisition. The key part to this question is to understand what's included in the cost of the equipment and what's expensed. And the key determining factor is any cost associated with getting the machinery to its intended use is included in the cost of the machinery. That's the key driving rule. Okay? So in this case, transportation is needed. So the cost of transportation, we need it to get the machinery to its intended use. So that should be included in the cost of the machinery. Installation of $600 should also be included in the cost of the machinery, because the cost of installing the equipment should be part of getting the machine to its intended use. And of course, duty is also part of the cost of getting the machine to its intended use. So those three items should be included in the cost of the machine. Now, we have to assume that the equipment was paid within the invoice within the 15 days. Okay, so let's take a look. So the cost of the machine should include the price, which is $10,000. We're going to add transportation of $300, installation $600, and duty $200. Now, the fact that we're going to assume that they paid within the 15 days. So if they paid within the 15 days, we're going to deduct the cash discount. And that is $10,000 times 2%. So the cost of the machine is $10,900. So the entry will be debit machine, it's an asset, credit cash. Now, let's assume that the machinery was paid after the 15 days. This means that the company wouldn't have qualified for the discount. So in other words, this 2% discount, they would have qualified for it. That means that they would have had to pay the invoice price, which is $10,000. Now, we have to record the machinery at the lowest possible price. In this case, the lowest possible price would have been the discount, net of discount. So we don't want to record the asset for 11,100, or in this case, because that would be the 10,900 without the discount, was 11,100, because that's not the lowest possible price. So our entry, if we did not qualify for the discount, therefore did not qualify for the discount, cash discount, our entry would be debit machinery, still at 10,900, which is the lowest possible cost. And it is because they were offering us a 2% discount, but we didn't take it because we paid it outside of 15 days. We're going to debit an expense called discounts lost. That would be an expense of $200. And we're going to credit cash for 11,100 because the amount of cash that we need to pay would be $200 higher had we taken the discount. So this entry, this second scenario, assumes that the invoice was paid after the 15 days. And given the fact that if we paid it after the 15 days, we would not have qualified for the cash discount. And therefore, we have to reflect the $200. Now, one argument could be made is that we could add it to the cost of the equipment or the machinery and credit cash, because that's how much we paid. But our standards requires us to record the equipment at the lowest possible price. In this case, it would be net of discount, so we would record it as a debit to the machinery, and we would record the discounts loss as an expense that's going to impact the current year's financial income statement. So I've given you the scenario that says if we qualify for the discount, the entry would be debit machinery, 10,900, credit cash. If we did not qualify for the discount, the machinery would still be recorded at 10,900, and the $200 discounts lost would be reflected as an expense in the current year. Thank you.